warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Heshain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Government urges the public to remain indoors as far as possible since the coming days are crucial. Arrangements will be made to send back tourists stranded in Sri Lanka. News in detail. Health Ministry announces that another 4 COVID-positive patients were discharged today from the infectious disease hospital in Angoda after a full recovery. Meanwhile, the President Media Division noted that the curfew imposed on the Jaffna district will be extended until further notice as a measure to control the spread of coronavirus. The President's Media Division added that the curfew imposed in Colombo, Kaluthara and Gampha districts, which have been identified as high-risk zones of the spread of COVID-19, will continue to be enforced until further notice. The ongoing curfew in the districts of Putlam, Vaunia, Mana, Kilinochchi and Mullatiu will be lifted at 6 a.m. tomorrow and will be reimposed at 2 p.m. on the same day. Thereby, curfew in these areas will continue till 6 a.m. on next Monday and will be reimposed at 2 p.m. on the same day. In the districts where the curfew was lifted at 6 a.m. today, it was reimposed at 2 p.m. today and will continue till 6 a.m. on Monday. Moving on, issuing a special notice, the President's Media Division announced that the government has decided to extend the curfew imposed on the Jaffna district until further notice and that the curfew in Jaffna will not be lifted tomorrow as formerly scheduled. Meanwhile, the police noted that it has arrested more than 3,070 curfew violators so far since the curfew was reimposed at 6 p.m. on last Friday. Thus, so far, more than 770 vehicles, including motorcycles and three-wheelers, were also taken into custody along with the arrestees. Meanwhile, the third batch of quarantine individuals have left for their homes today after completing the 14-day quarantine process. Hence, 42 individuals from Kandakadu, 125 from Punani, 38 from Diatalava and 18 from Miankulama were among those released. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority announces that special arrangements have been taken to send back the international tourists strangled in the country due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Tourism Development Authority in a statement said that the country has allowed charter flights to fly out with remaining tourists. According to the available data at the immigration authorities, there are approximately 8,093 international tourists in the country, and Sri Lanka Tourism is closely working with the Foreign Ministry and respective embassies and High Commission to arrange necessary facilities. Immigration authorities announced that though arrivals were suspended into the country, all departures are being supported, and Sri Lankan Airlines still operates departure flights daily to UK, Melbourne and Narita. Tourism Development Authority today announces that Sri Lanka Tourism will facilitate any country to fly out their nationals on holiday or on work here back to their home country via charter flights on request. The officials also request the service providers of the local tourism industry to support tourists with airport transportation. Due to the current curfew in the country, police has assured that the air ticket could be used in lieu of a curfew pass for the passengers as well as the vehicle and driver. Tourism Development Authority also adds that tourists who are unable to find transport to get to the airport are free to contact the closest police station or Sri Lanka Tourism Hotline on 1912. Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena today noted that the Cabinet approval was given to a wide array of relief measures proposed by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to assist people undergoing various hardships due to the prevailing situation erupted by the coronavirus. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena made these observations addressing the weekly Cabinet press briefing held at the Department of Government Information today morning. Accordingly, Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena stressed that the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has decided to provide relief to the families of daily wage labourers by facilitating a coupon for them to obtain essential food items. He added that the emergency COVID-19 task force under Basil Rajapaksa will look into this facility. Moreover, Gunawardena highlighted that Sri Lanka has imported sufficient food from India for the April season and that the country will not face any shortage of imported food items from India as a result of its 3-week lockdown. Furthermore, Minister iterated that the Cabinet approval was given for the relief package proposed by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa last Monday to aid the affected individuals from the coronavirus. Hence, some of the key measures included in this package are giving a 6-month moratorium on the leasing loan installments, A moratorium on loan installments until 30th May 2020 from salaries of all public and private sector employees except Board of Directors. A 3-month moratorium on all personal bank and leasing loan installments of value less than 1 million rupees. Doubling the Agrahara insurance benefits for all health, police, civil defense and all government servants engaged in controlling the spread of the COVID-19. A 6-month debit moratorium on tourism, garment and small and medium industries, and for Central Bank of Sri Lanka to re-evaluate the finances. Meanwhile, addressing the same cabinet press briefing, co-cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Ramesh Patharan advised the general mass to be indoors as much as possible since the coming days are crucial for the country.
ඉදිරි දින කිහිපය ඒ සම්බන්ධ නිතාම තීරණාත්මක කාලවකවානුවක් බවට පත්වන බැවින් අපි මේ රටේ ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ ඉතාම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය කරුණකදී හැරෙන්නට නිවසෙන් පිටතට යාම සිදු නොකරන ලෙසයි.
Since the coming days are crucial for the country, we urge the public not to step out from the houses unless for an emergency situation. Throughout the past few days, we saw that the majority of the society has paid attention to the rules and preventive measures against coronavirus. However, this compliance to rules and guidelines was not seen when the curfew was lifted and especially when people were purchasing essential goods at groceries and food stalls. Thus, the government has taken measures to speed up the delivery facility of essential goods to houses. We are confident that together as a nation we can combat this pandemic. But for that end, we urge the society to assist us and the government's mechanism taken to curtail the situation. There will be irregularities in supplying the services, but the government has taken the maximum measures to eradicate those. I request the public to lead a simple lifestyle without hunting for complex requirements at this crucial juncture.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa requests international donor agencies to provide a debt moratorium or debt deferment facility to all vulnerable developing nations affected by the COVID-19 risk. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, making a note in his Twitter account, says that he requested international donor agencies to provide a debt moratorium or debt deferment facility to all vulnerable developing nations to the COVID-19 outbreak. He also added that he urged Director General of the World Health Organization to forward this request to multilateral and bilateral lending agencies. President Rajapaksa also pointed out that this relief would be helpful to manage COVID-19 social distancing, public health and social security systems in a number of countries which are struggling to combat the unexpected virus threat. Meanwhile, government has introduced a special mechanism to deliver essential food items to homes in order to prevent uncontrolled gathering of people at marketplaces amidst effort to combat COVID-19. Former Minister Basil Rajapaksa, who has been entrusted with the job, said that it will be implemented through a local system in collaboration with cooperative societies and supermarket chains, headed the presidential task on continuous supply, operation and coordination of services. The former minister also added that steps have been taken to distribute food items while protecting domestic farmers and the national economy. Meanwhile, a decision has also been taken to deliver medicines to the homes of regular patients who have registered at hospitals with the support of divisional secretaries, public health officers and security forces. Heads of the banks were also advised to take action to keep the commercial banks open to facilitate trade and other essential activities. The committee also assured that requests made to implement a program to supply domestic gas at consumers' doorstep responding to the telephone orders. World Health Organization introduces 6 key measures to combat COVID-19, especially for the majority of countries who have implemented the lockdown measures. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus made these observations addressing the daily media briefing on COVID-19 held at WHO headquarters in Switzerland yesterday.
We call on all countries who have introduced so-called lockdown measures to use this time to attack the virus. You have created a second window of opportunity. The question is, how will you use it? There are 6 key actions that we recommend. First, expand, train, and deploy your healthcare and public health workforce. And second, implement a system to find every suspected case at community level. Third, ramp up production capacity and availability of testing. Fourth, identify, adapt, and equip facilities you will use to treat and isolate patients. Fifth, develop a clear plan and process to quarantine contacts. And finally, number six, refocus the whole of government on suppressing and controlling COVID-19.
Addressing for the WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus highlighted that aggressive measures to find, isolate, test, treat and trace are not only the best and fastest measures to come out of extreme social and economic restrictions, but they're also the best way to prevent them.
These measures are the best way to suppress and stop transmission so that when restrictions are lifted, the virus doesn't resurge. The last thing any country needs is to open schools and businesses only to be forced to close them again because of a resurgence. Aggressive measures to find, isolate, test, treat, and trace are not only the best and fastest way out of extreme social and economic restrictions, they are also the best way to prevent them. More than 150 countries and territories still have fewer than 100 cases. By taking the same aggressive actions now, these countries have the chance to prevent community transmission and avoid some of the more severe social and economic costs seen in other countries. This is especially relevant for many vulnerable countries whose health systems may collapse under the weight of the numbers of patients we have seen in some countries with community transmission.
And that's all news for today. Let's work together, let's work responsibly in the fight against COVID-19. Maintain the social distance even after the curfew is lifted. With that, we will wrap up today's news to see you tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care, good night.